Mrs. Claus here. How are you doing today? It's so nice to be with you again. You know, it's just a busy, busy world, isn't it? There's so many things to do, so many things to capture our time and our attention, and sometimes we forget about our family because we're just so busy, so very busy. Well, this is a story of a family. It does take place a while ago. It takes place in a little village, and there was a little man. He's an older man. He was living by himself now because his wife had passed away. He was actually a cobbler and a clothes maker. And he had done very good, except times got tough, and he lost his business. He was old, and his hands were gnarled, and he couldn't sew and couldn't move the needle through fabric or through leather, and he couldn't pound out the shoes. So he lived alone in his house, and he had 3 sons, and they would come once a week and have dinner with him. Well, after a while, they got busy, and they got busy, and they got busy, and they came less and less. And the poor man was getting nervous because his health was really failing him, and he didn't know what to do. He couldn't get their attention, and he really, really needed their help, and he needed them to be around. So one night, when it got really bad, he started thinking. He thought very, very hard and very, very deep. And he came up with a plan. The next day, he went into the village, and he went to see a friend who had a very large box. And he got the box from his friend. And then he went to another friend who had a lock. And he got that lock from his friend. And then he went to the glassmaker in the village, and he asked him for all of his extra pieces of glass, the broken glass that fell on the floor or were no longer part of any project. He gathered all of these things, and he brought them to his house. And he took the big box, and he filled it with the glass. And then he closed the top, and he put a lock on it. It was like a chest, so it had the things it could lock. And he took that big chest, and he put it underneath his dining room table, his kitchen table, I should say. And there it sat with the big lock on it. So that week, when his sons actually did come over to see him, they sat around that kitchen table. And they had dinner, but they kept bumping into the big chest, the big box, underneath the kitchen table. And they asked his father, "Father, what do you have in this box?" Oh, nothing really, just some things that are important to me." Well, the sons kept kicking the box, and they heard things inside the box, and it seemed like it was really, really heavy. So when they left, the 3 of them got together and they started talking, because there must be something valuable in that box that Father would keep it there with a big lock under the table. It was probably gold. He probably had it filled with gold. Well, they decided that somebody needed to guard that box, because if anything happened, they wouldn't get it when he passed away. So from that day on, every week, one of the sons went over and stayed with their father. The whole week long, they were there all day, every day, cooking and cleaning for their father. And that went on for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, until the father became really, really ill, and he passed away. Well, the boys gave their father a really nice funeral because they knew that the box was filled with gold and treasures, and so they would be able to afford it. And after they buried their father, they went back to his house. And they pulled the box out from underneath the table, and they broke the lock off, and they opened it. And all that was in it were pieces of broken glass. Pieces of broken glass. Oh, the oldest son was just so angry. How could his father do this to them? How could he trick them like this? And the middle son he felt bad because his father had to do something like that to get their attention. And the youngest son, he just cried. He felt so bad for his father, and he felt so bad because they had ignored his father and treated him so badly for so long. Well, the oldest son wasn't having any of this, and he grabbed that box, and he opened it wide, and he turned it over, and out poured all the glass. And then all of them peered inside the box, and written on the bottom of the box, "Honor thy mother and thy father." Well, hopefully we won't have to go through a lesson like that. Honor who you need to honor. Take care of those who are frail and who are ill. Remember, someday you may need somebody to take care of you. I hope you have a good day and a good night. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.